All right, in today's video, we're going to be working on this Grizzly G0815 15-inch planer, and we will be installing this helical head. This is made by Shelix, and I'm going to show you how to do that next. Also, here's the spec plate, if you want to pause the video. All right, step one, you need to drain the oil out of the gearbox, and we're going to be using a 1/4 inch. The instructions say to use a metric, but we found that 1/4 inch to be better. This is the Allen bolt here. We're going to loosen that and drain the oil into a suitable container. Next, we're going to remove the Phillips screws holding the covers that will give us access to the pulley belts. All right, next we need to remove the tension off of the belts here, and to do that, there's two large Allen bolts here and one here. We're going to loosen that with a number 8, and then we will slide the motor down a little bit with the adjustment here that will allow us to remove the belts. All right, so we're going to loosen the jam nut with a 14mm wrench, and then we will turn this bolt here and it will slowly lower the motor down. And as you can see, there's slack. See how the motor's looser now? All right. So I rolled the first one, or the outer one, out, and you can just slowly rotate this. Don't get your fingers pinched, and you'll be able to roll the belt right off like that. There's the number 2. All right, here's where you may need a little help. We're going to take the 2 bolts out of the support here. You should not need to take this pulley off. It will fit through the large hole. We're going to demonstrate this.
Hard for 240. All right.
So this is 240. You've got a black, you've got a white, and then you've got your case ground. So you'll need to disconnect the 3 wires here, and we'll slide the cable out of the bottom of the motor. All right, so because the case ground is not going to slide under there, we're going to, this one right here, no, this one. The block is hold on diagonally. So we're going to loosen this and this. We'll lift the block up just a little bit, which will allow this ground wire to slip out. All right, so we slid the wires all the way out. Now we're going to take the motor and put it in a safe place. Be very careful again, this is really heavy. So with that removed, we're going to remove the Phillips screws holding this cover on. There should be 4 Phillips screws, 1 in each corner.
Looks like I might still have them running.
So the plate should lift up. And now you're going to expose the guts of this Grizzly. All right, next we're going to remove this plastic cover. There's 3 Phillips screws. Remove the lower cover here that's on the pulley side. It'll give us better access to our chain tensioner. These are also Phillips screws. All right, so we're going to remove or loosen these 2 Phillips screws. This is the tensioner, chain tensioner. All right, we're going to be using 8mm, and we're going to take the nuts out here to remove the knife blades so we don't get cut. All right, so we're only doing it maybe a 1/4 of a turn, and then we're going to use a pick and grab the end of the knife slide it up. And then also there's the, we're just going to call it the clamp bar, which will come out as well. So there's 3 of them in this roller. Should look just like that when you're done. Alright, so use a 12 millimeter. I'm holding this roller with a rag. It's not on there very tight. I've just got my hand pressing down on it to hold it, keep it from rotating. Right, there is a keyway in there. I can see. So it's probably going to need a small puller. Yep, there's a large keyway in there. All right, so we got a 3-jaw puller set up for this little belt pulley. Okay, the pulley comes out. What was that? Right there. All right, so we're going to remove the gears. This should be a 10 millimeter. All right, so with the bolts removed, there is a key in each of these gears. You should be able to slide this whole thing. The gears will just slide out at the same time. Just kind of wiggle it. Okay. And then there's 1 and 2. So there's a key in each of these 3 shafts. All right, inside here, this cover is a 6 millimeter Allen. All right, so the inside of this is like this. So it just slides out. You got to tilt it a little bit. All right, we're going to remove these 2 gears, just like we did on the other side.
Well, this is a 10.
This one's a 10, and that one will tell you what it is. It may be a 12. All right, and this gear set should slide off, just like the other one. All right, this one. Definitely slide this off, take the chain off. All right, and this gear, as you see, will slide right off, and the key came off in the gear. All right. The handle, the Bakelite plastic part will just unscrew from this shaft right here. All right, so we're using a 5 millimeter Allen to undo these. Very gently try to pull it out just straight as you can. All right, there we go. All right. Okay. So there's the cover, and there's our inside of the gearbox. All right, so I'm going to move the speed control. I'm just going to pull it up, and then very gently twist it, and it'll come right out just like that. All right, on the bottom of this gearbox, there's 2 other way, 8 millimeter Allen head bolts that hold this gearbox to the frame of the machine. So what we'll do is we'll remove both of those, and then we'll tap on the end, which will show you, and this entire assembly should be able to slide right out of the frame. All right, so the box is loose, and I'm going to take a rubber mallet. Do not use metal, and I'm going to tap on the shaft. Okay, it's coming out. Good?
Good. It's
The
about,
bearing's loose from here.
right, here it comes.
All right, so I'm supporting it. So hold on, let me keep going out.
Well,
So these 2x4s are really helping. All right, you've got all that?
yeah, I
All
got
right,
it.
let me take this 2x4. All right, so I am removing the 5mm Allen screw that is holding this small little gear. All right, so I'm going to take a wooden face hammer and just tap the gearbox this way, okay? And then the head and everything come out just like that. All right, so in order to pull this bearing off, we don't have a bearing splitter. So you want to try to pull this off without damaging the race, or not the race, but the shield or the seal. So we've got a little bit of strapping here. It's going to protect the bearing from the jaws. Okay, it's pulling right off, so it's not on there very tight. Alright, so we were able to get the bearing off, no damage at all. So what we're going to do is we're going to apply or install this bearing on the new cutter head. Alright, so we decided we're going to do this vertically, so we're not dragging this over. So I'm just going to very gently to get this on there square. Okay, so it's pretty easy to go on. I'm going to take a piece of this. What is this? Well, let's keep it on the size of this. So we'll finish it all up. I want to show you guys something we just found out. Should have checked this before, but here's the old gear, or the old head, and see how easy that slides on? But then this one, this will not go on. That's why it knocked this out. So we're going to take a flat file to this and get a little clearance. There's no way that's going to fit. Alright, so we used the dowel to go inside that to kind of hold it as we were simultaneously. Now watch this and see if it draws it in. Alright, so what we're going to do is, since we have this on the bench, we're going to go ahead and put the gearbox cover back on. So we want to put the speed control. So we'll just put that just like that. And then we have our gasket. You want to make sure that your gasket is okay. And we were running around looking for the dowel. The other dowel is right here, and then that dowel is right there. So, yeah, I'm gonna hold it. So just remember these right here are gonna make up bearings. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the gasket on. It's right here. Okay. I'm gonna get the bolts. Okay, so we have our bolts. I'm going to put it to this corner. I'll keep this up. So go put the bolts in the corner. Right here. I'm just very, very gently going to just give this a little tap. Man down. So at this point you should be able to go ahead and get the bolts in. Alright, so we're going to get this buttoned up and then we'll be back. Alright, so we're going to grab this assembly and then we're going to put the assembly back into the machine just like we took it out. Okay, take that off. And I'm going to support this. Okay. And then the bearings lined up. So what we'll need to do is we will need to, there we go. So that slid in with no problem. We didn't even have to, I guess just the weight of all this helped. So the bearing seated exactly where it should. So what we'll do now is we will take the 2 bolts that hold the gearbox in from the bottom, we'll put those in. All right, so next we will, what we're going to do next is we're going to put the gear set timing chain, listen to me. I'm going to put the gear and chain back on. Remember the keyway. You can turn this keyway up.
Oh. Okay, this is 10. This is 12.
We're gonna get there. We're getting there. All right, now we're gonna put this cover back on here. And remember, this cover is just got an opening on this end, so we're going to feed it in like this. All right, so now we're going to work on this side. And we're going to put the gear set back on here. We'll put the tensioner back on, and then the pulley. All right, so we're going to put the tensioner in. All right, so we are going to be putting the tensioner on. There's 2 Phillips head screws. It just holds the bottom of the chain up. All right, so this collar right here goes on first. All right, now we're going to reinstall the pulley, put the keyway on. There's a front and a back to the pulley, so make sure that the back, there's a recess for the bolt and the washer. Make sure that is towards the front. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put the covers on. We'll put the little plastic plate here. We'll put this cover on, and we'll wait to do these covers and the bottom portion after we get the motor in. All right, so we lifted the motor here. Now we're going to put the belts on. All right, so I've got the belt on the bottom, and then I'm rotating this. I'm just rolling the belt into each groove. Okay, like that. It's the first one. So you put that in there like this and just rotate it. Okay. And then we'll rotate this one. Okay, so all the belts are on there, and we'll tension them up in just a minute. And then we're reconnecting all the electrical, just the reverse of what we did before, to disconnect it. All right, so this is how you tension this assembly up. You just turn this bolt. Either tightening it, you turn it counterclockwise, and to loosen it, the tension of the belts, you turn it clockwise. It should be about like that. And then we've got the electrical. Everything's hooked up. I'm going to put the box back on, or the box cover, I should say. And then next we'll put on the bottom guard and then the plate guard here. All right, we've got 4 ounces of our proper oil. Smells like differential fluid. This must have a high sulfur content. All right, we're going to test it out. Oh yeah, nice finish. Now watch this, we're going to turn the vacuum on.